Hi, today is June 7th, 2025. This is day 60 after transplant, I believe. Sorry I didn't let you guys know what was going on yesterday. It's just the day got away from me, and it was a Friday, and uh, had an appointment down at the clinic that I think I was down there for a better chunk of the day. And I don't know, it's just kind of not really what I was expecting to hear yesterday talking to the doctor. It's, uh, to sum it up, it's like, I'm sitting here, I don't know if this transplant's taking or not. I go in multiple times a week and they do lab work to, monitor things. But basically, what, the conversations with the doctor was yesterday is that, because, I kind of asked the question, I said, I want to know if this is working or not, and they said they basically can't tell me till probably mid-August. And that's about it. My question is, well, why do I keep coming in so often for lab work and things like that? They said, well, and I understand, because that's, you know, they want to make sure I'm maintaining other things that, but the question is out there, is it my old cells making blood in my body, or is it the donor cells? And they said we're not going to really know until mid-August. And it's it depends on the disease they're dealing with. Mine being the myelofibrosis, so it's that's what it is. It's like um, and I guess why I ask these questions and why I'm so concerned is because I think the doctor spent an hour and a half talking about what if this isn't working. you know, Last time I met with transplant doctor, it was the same thing, but it seems to me there's a lot of time and conversation and energy explaining to me, what what's the next step if this isn't working, and like I said, it was an hour and a half conversation. It's like, um, going through the steps that they'll try next and everything from, well, what they did yesterday was one of the first steps is they cut out one of my medications that they think is affecting my ability to make blood cells. They think it's suppressing the donor's cells immune system, so they're not being as active as they should be. The other thing is they feel that this medicine's kind of doing a number on my kidneys. They've been telling me to drink more water for the last couple of weeks because of certain numbers on certain tests, which kind of show that your kidneys are being overworked or a sign of kidney disease that is present in my body. So, so that's what they did yesterday is, took me off some medications. My hemoglobin yesterday was 7.1. Typically, when it's that low, you know, they'll say, hey, come in for a transfusion. They'll either try and do it that day or, have me come in the next day or two. What they told me to do is hold off till next Tuesday, see what my hemoglobin does with getting me off this tacrolimus medicine. So that's kind of a big change and kind of makes you wonder what, it's like, hey, typically I should have a blood transfusion, but I'm not, and that's why I feel like this whole thing with this transplant disease is, they're just taking wild shots at it, and my body's the big human test tube in the game here. So, uh, you know, so that's, was kind of concerning. Spent a lot of time talking to my wife last night about, how come the conversation always turns to if this doesn't work, is the doctor suspecting something or is it something they always do just for prep? So you're aware, I don't know, but kind of don't like it, when they start talking about the other options. The other thing that was kind of preoccupied my mind is my one daughter yesterday. It's I found out that she had in the last couple of weeks put together a healthcare directive that, she basically stated that if she ever had any type of, you know, blood cancer and, the procedure was, or, the recommended cure is bone marrow transplant, that she does not want that, after seeing what I've been through. And that it kind of has been hard to hear. So, but, uh, I've told people that if I had to do it again, I would. But I think part of it is, you know, my age, being 64, I won't go through this again. But if I was under 30 and had a chance for another 30, 40, 50 years of life, then it'd be worth it. But, it's kind of hard to hear my daughter, feeling the way that she is after seeing what I've been through, gone through. So I guess that's the real reason I didn't post anything last night is, I'm kind of concerned about her thoughts, once she spent a lot of time with me in the hospital. And there was, a period of time when, it was pretty rough for me and I was not doing well. And it's, we actually kept her away from there. She's in the healthcare field, and, you know, she understands it, but it is what it is. So anyway, other than that, that was Friday. Uh, Today, she's a little firecracker. She's, had trees removed and storm damage at her house next door, and she's all after it. She rented a stump grinder today. And I sat there and watched her working at grinding away stumps for half the day. It's like more power to her, but it looks like a lot of work, more work than I'm physically to do right now. It was actually kind of neat. I want to thank Dave and Doug for coming over. They helped her a bit. Uh, it's really great to have neighbors like that, especially when all I could do is sit there and watch. But she got 8 stumps ground out today, so I'd say that's pretty good. So, uh, other than that, just kind of relaxing. Uh, today, trying to get motivated to do a little bit. Uh, been going through some, I want to say, stuff that, I told you that my parents are moving. They actually were moving yesterday. Both my daughters were helping them, and some boxes ended up here of stuff that they thought I wanted, or maybe my stuff. So trying to unpack that stuff and go through that. So other than that, that's been about it for the last couple of days. Like I said, sorry for not trying to get a video out yesterday, but I, what can I say? It's sometimes it's hard to sit here and think of things to tell you guys, and you know, and especially when I don't really know what's going on, as far as what the doctors are thinking or doing or whatever. So, but anyway, you guys have a great Saturday. Enjoy the day. It's nice out, and we'll try and talk to you tomorrow. Thanks.